So the name of my YouTube channel is Free Unsolicited Advice. A lot of people have asked why unsolicited. So in this video, I will attempt to explain why that word is so important to my YouTube channel's name. Most of us are at least somewhat surrounded by yes men or yes women. People that only tell us what we want to hear. We go on social media and our algorithm comes up with videos that reinforce what we already believe. And at least if your friends aren't exactly like that, they're probably a lot of times too scared to tell you what they actually think about your behavior. For each of our own personal growth, we need people in our life that are going to tell us the truth, especially when we're doing something completely stupid that is actually standing in the way of us reaching our goals, which is a two-pronged problem actually. The first prong is the things that we're doing that are actively messing up our lives. Maybe it's something huge like alcohol and drugs, or something not so huge like too much time on Netflix, doom scrolling social media, wasting our day consuming content. Whatever it is, we need someone in our life to give us that unsolicited advice. And the second prong is that sometimes we're not doing the things that we should be doing in order to reach our goals. These are the positive things like exercise or eating right if we say we want to improve our health, or reading the Bible and praying if we want to work on our spiritual side. I'm sure that each of us could think of 2 or 3 things right now that if we were doing would give us returns in spades. And having somebody in our life who will actually tell us those things is super important. Have you ever wished someone would hold your boss or your spouse's feet to the fire? Like the problem exists out there somewhere in somebody else? Well, if that's what you're thinking, probably the best thing that someone could do for you is hold your feet to the fire. Because a lot of times our problems aren't out there. They don't stem from somebody else. They're actually in here. And most of the time it's something that we're not doing that we should be doing, or something that we are doing that we shouldn't be. There's this kind of outdated idea that the ancients had that said that sin brings God's judgment. And it's really easy to look at people in the past and think that they were not as smart as us, not as cultured as us, or not as developed as us, when in reality they were probably actually a lot wiser than we are. So in the Bible, sin means to miss the mark. It's actually an archery term. It means not to hit what you're aiming at. So from that perspective, it's actually easy to believe that us missing the mark in our own life, either through things that we're not doing that we should be doing, or things that we are doing that we shouldn't be, that is going to lead to a future that we didn't even want. The perfect big example of this is Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. Now, I know at the time there was a lot of internet personalities or famous pastors that said that God struck that city because of sin. And in one way, that's not true, because this hurricane would have come no matter what happened. Hurricanes come in all of our lives, regardless of what we do. But the real disaster wasn't that the hurricane came. The real disaster was when the levees failed and the town flooded. And from everything that I've read, they knew about the problem. They had voted on and put aside money to fix the levees. But through corrupt politicians, imagine that, the money was stolen. And they never fixed the problem that they knew they had. All of these things are missing the mark. Yes, the storm would have come, but it wouldn't have been the disaster that it was. And what does that mean for each of us? This is why unsolicited advice is so important. Someone to say, we're missing the mark, or we should be acting different in a situation, or behaving better than we actually are. There's one more reason why we need unsolicited advice in our lives, and that is someone to tell you that you can do it, that there's greatness inside you. We all need cheerleaders in our life as we step into challenges, as we make commitments, or somebody to encourage us when we actually fall or stumble, to reach down their hand and say, let's get back up, let's do this together. There's greatness in each of us that needs to be called forth. And having somebody in your life who can call forward that greatness in you, that is one of the major keys to success. I've had people like this in my life. I remember when I first started fundraising, I thought I would never be able to do it. But through a mentorship, through somebody believing in me, over the last 10 years, I've gotten to the point where now I'm mentoring other people. And again, when I first started doing ministry, I thought that only super Christians heard from God. And again, a mentor came into my life and he taught me that I can hear from God as well. He walked alongside me. He cheered me on through the wins and was there through the bad points. And that's what I want to be for each of you. I want to be the one cheering you on, to encourage you to reach your potential and encourage you to discard anything that might be holding you back and adopt those healthy habits and move forward in your calling, whatever it might be.